Go live. Hey. Hey, everybody. Pray that all is going well with you. This is the day the Lord has made. We got to rejoice and be glad about it, right? Yes, right. I decided to change where I was sitting at just to kind of give you a different view, different background. But thank you so much for joining me. I'll wait a few more minutes just to see if a couple more people can get on. I'm excited about this lesson tonight. It's taken from Genesis chapter 34. And the topic is the prodigal daughter. And I had called out a friend. I was like, I'm talking about the prodigal daughter. Get back to me if you know who it is. And they got back to me and they're like, I don't have a clue, because, we always hear about the prodigal son. But, of course, the title in the Bible is not prodigal daughter. That's the title of my lesson. But this particular daughter, they had to make a run too. Hey, Nani, I see you. What's up, Niecy? So I'm really excited. Again, this particular lesson tonight is taken from Genesis chapter 34, the entire chapter. So let me type that in there for those that will join in a minute. And it's called The Prodigal Daughter. Hey, gosh, what's up, Niecy? Hey. Prodigal Daughter, Daughter. I'm so glad you joined me. I think this is your first time, Tosh. Good to see you. Hey. Yes, waving at you. All right. So we're live on Facebook and we're also live on YouTube for those that are not able to get on Facebook. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I'm really excited again about this lesson. I'm really excited. You guys just don't know. Let's see. Yeah, there was definitely a daughter that ventured away from home. So, all right. So the female I'm talking about tonight, her name is, hey, Julie, you made it in. All right. So her name is Dinah, Dinah, Dinah. And it means justice or one who judges. So that's the definition of her name. Now, her mom and dad was Joseph and Leah. So you remember the story about Joseph, and he wanted Rachel, and he wanted Rachel, but he ended up getting Leah first. And then they, he wasn't too happy about that, but he ended up getting both wives. So one of the wives was Leah. So Dinah's mom and dad was Joseph and Leah. Okay. And so let's start the story. So Dinah, the reason I call it the prodigal daughter is you will know when we get to the end of the story. So Dinah, she was young in age. She was ready. Hey, cousin, welcome. She was young and she was bored. She, back then everyone stayed with their family. They stayed in a cluster. And so she stayed in this little community just with her family. But she would look outside the community and see these different women, walking with, beautiful hair and makeup and walking around giggling and carrying on and look like they were just having fun. She's looking out there like, man, I bet their life is so much better than mine. I'm so bored. So guess what Dinah decided to do? She decided to leave home. Yep. She didn't tell her mama. She didn't tell her daddy. And she decided to leave her home because she wanted to venture out and see if life was better. See what them girls on the other side was doing. So she didn't get permission. She just ventured out on her own. So remember that point. She didn't get permission. She stepped out on her own. So she got out there and she started, seeing how beautiful the girls were and how much fun they were having. And as she's just strolling through looking at everybody and seeing what they taking part in, this prince sees her and he's like, wow, I see you. Okay. His name was Prince Shechem. So he checked her out and he's like, wow, she's beautiful. Okay, she's not part of us. She must be part of that clan that lives in that cluster. So his eyes just fell upon her. And then when I tell you Prince Shechem wanted him some Dinah, he wanted him some Dinah. If she was chicken, he would have ate her. He wanted her real bad. So he started, just, pampering her and complimenting her and, And Dinah, she was just just all taken in by that, just all caught up in that, like, you're so beautiful, thank you. Oh, your hair is so pretty, thank you. So remember, she came from a family, of relatives, and so she wasn't getting that kind of attention. So now all of a sudden, woo, okay, he's giving me some attention. Whoa, okay. How many know that all attention is not good attention? Keep that in mind. All attention is not good intention. All right. So he was giving her this attention, wooing her. So, so he was like, you want to come to my place? So of course he lived in a palace because he's a prince, right? So she's like, ooh, what? Oh, I'm going to the prince's house. Oh, yeah, okay, all right, that's what's up. Yeah. So, she's walking along, I'm sure all the girls are just hating, hating and looking at her like, why he chose her? What's up with her? What's so special about her? Well, remember I said Prince Shechem, he seen her and he was like, woo, I want her. So he went in. So so they went into the palace. They got up in the palace, and guess what happened? Prince Shechem forced himself on Dinah. She realized she was in danger and she was trying to get away, but he ended up raping her. He took her virginity. And so now, now she's with him. He took her virginity and he don't want to let her go. He just think he just all up in her, he just totally in love with her, and he does not want to let her go. So what does Prince Shechem do? Okay, you done defiled the girl. Now you gotta, ask dad, can you marry her? All right, man, yeah, we're gonna talk about that, okay, in a minute. But anyway, so he sends his dad. He said, he asked his dad. His dad was Hamar. He said, Daddy, can you go to Joseph and ask him, can I marry Dinah? Tell him that I really want her. Can you go there? Can you tell him I really want her? So Hamar went to Jacob. Now Jacob had by this time had heard what Prince Shechem had did to his daughter. He had heard that he had defiled his daughter. He had raped her, took her by force, and took her to the palace. So he already knew, what was up. So when Hamar comes to him and asks him, can his son marry his wife? He was kind of like, feeling some kind of way, I'm sure. So now keep in mind, Joseph had some sons. Now the sons were in the field at the time. Now he could have, sent a message and let them know, but he decided to wait till they got back to the house. So Joseph hadn't answered Hamar. So, he paused for a minute. So he said, so when the boys came home, so the sons came home, I'm jumping. In my mind, I'm already at the end of the story, so I have to come back where you guys are. Okay. So when the sons came home, Joseph told the sons what Prince Shechem had did to Dinah. Boys, Prince Shechem raped your sister. Oh my goodness. Back then, that was a humiliation to the family. That was an embarrassment, not only to her, but to the family, especially to their dad. So basically, Prince Shechem had humiliated them. And so, these boys, needless to say, they was, oh, all right, in this day and time, you're like, man, let me get my cap. They were like ready to go in. But they were very patient. They were very patient. So Hamar told, remember he asked Joseph, could he marry the daughter, Dinah, because his son married Dinah. He didn't answer him. He told the sons. So by this time, Prince, he's like antsy, like, I ain't heard nothing. You know what? All right. So he steps in. He's like, he comes and he's like, look, I want to marry your daughter. I want her to be my wife. I love her and I just want to be with her. And man, if you whatever you ask for, I'll give it to you. Whatever you want. I just want Dinah, your daughter, to be my wife. I want her to live with me forever. So the brothers, they hear this. It's like, okay, their little eyes and ears open up. They're like, well, he said, whatever we ask, he'll do it. Now, of course, in Prince Shechem's mind, he's like, land, money, cows, goats, whatever, whatever you want, I'll give it to you. Because how many people believe that people that are rich think they can just buy everything they want? Well, nah, not in this case. Okay. All right. So two of the brothers, they were like, you know what? We really can't let you have our sister unless you do something. He was like, man, whatever you want me to do. And he was like, I tell you what, he said, let's just Prince check him. He's like, we could swap daughters, your daughters for our daughters, and then we all get married, and then we could just live happily ever after in this kingdom. So Simeon and Levi, they were like, I'll tell you what, your boys can't marry our girls because they have to be circumcised, and they're uncircumcised, and uncircumcised can't be with circumcised. That's that unequally yoked. They were the yeah. So how many of you know that to get circumcised is very painful? Yeah. So Prince Shechem and Hamar, they were like, okay, let's go talk to our boys. That's what's up. So he had a meeting. He's like, hey guys, look, hey, Joseph said he gonna give me all his daughters if we give his men all our daughters, and we just swap, and then we all live happily ever after in this kingdom. And he said, but you gotta all be willing to be circumcised. So the men agreed to it. Man, Joseph folks must have been beautiful. They were like, yeah, okay, yeah, that's what's up. All right, we'll go ahead and get circumcised. So they go ahead, they get circumcised, and a couple of days in, they still in pain. They can't move around hardly. They can't, do too much of anything because they are in pain down there. Okay, they in real bad pain. So the brothers of Dinah, what do? They creep up on them, they attack them, and they kill them, including Prince Shechem. And they bring Dinah back home. That's how Dinah got back home. She didn't come like the prodigal son did willingly. She went, but she went, because her brother saved her from that prince. So, what do we learn from this story? Woo, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on, isn't it? Okay, so we talked about her, Dinah. She looking out there thinking grass is greener on the other side because, everybody's like doing their thing, having fun, dressed up, playing music. Yeah, I'm going to leave my family. I'm going to go out there because over there they have more fun than what I'm having here. So she left without asking her parents' permission. So she left. And how many of us make moves without consulting God? How many of us make moves without consulting God? And then we make that move. What happens? We just move, poof. We fall, don't we? We fall because we didn't get God's permission. We have to get God's permission. We have to ask him before we make a decision about anything. We should be consulting God. And because he is our covering. And Dinah, she didn't consult her parents. They were her covering. And so she just stepped out because she thought she could have a better life where she was. She didn't appreciate where she was. And so she thought there was better life out there. How many of you know that's a lie too? My personal testimony, I was telling my friend a few minutes ago, I said, I moved out the house when I was 18, but I moved back in at 18 and a half and then moved out again until I got married. It was like, yeah, okay. Because I moved out with my dad. He said I can go, but he also told me you can come back if things don't work out. So I thank God for my dad, because he was there for me. But this chick right here, she gonna step out, go creeping, thinking things better on the other side. Don't leave home. Don't make no decisions without consulting your Heavenly Father. Don't do what Dinah did. Okay. So she let's see, now she was only around family, so she thought being around them was gonna be better. She seen the glitz and glamour, and then all of a sudden she gets all this attention. Come here, Prince Shechem. Come here, lady. Let me holler at you. You sure are fine. Well, you are gorgeous. You are beautiful. It reminds, when I read that part, it reminded me of a scene in a club. When we used to go to the club and we'd be just kicking it, and then some guy comes up to you. You sure are fine. You wearing them jeans, girl. You look real beautiful. Thank you. Oh, you're doing your little two-step. You want to dance? Yeah, sure. Okay. All right. You just follow them through the flow, and you out there just getting it. You sure smell good. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So you just sucking all that in. And then maybe about 2 hours later, he done sucked you into somewhere you didn't need to be, and getting into something you didn't need to get into. Because why? Because he was speaking them words into you that you never heard, or that you need to hear, or you think you need to hear. And it's just for a purpose of getting what he wants from you. So Dinah, yeah, she's like, taken in by his charm, by his, attention to her, because she had never had that kind of attention before. And she followed him right up to that palace. And he attacked her, and she's too late. She was in a vulnerable position and couldn't get away. So we are, when folks start saying stuff to you, whispering in your ear about stuff, that's why it's so important to have self-confidence. So when a person does come complimenting you or telling you look good or whatever, you like, thank you, I know. And you don't even have to say I know, just say thank you, but it won't be like, oh, ain't nobody told me that in a long time, ain't nobody ever told me that. That's why you have to learn to love yourself and learn to love who God has created you to be. So anything anybody tell you is just affirmation of what you already know, not something brand new. Okay, so Dinah, she had never heard those things. So when he whispered in her ear and told her that, she went following him. So we gotta, with that lesson there, you gotta know who you are and whose you are, so you won't be easily swayed when these temptations come about, like that Dinah was. Okay. Yeah, she thought grass was green on the other side, but she ended up getting attacked, and it was not cool. She had how many of you know that she wished she was back at the house? She was back with her mom and dad, and she wished she had not left. She wished she had not peeped out or steeped out or stepped out to go see what was on the other side. Yeah, no, nope, 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 nope. You got to know who we are. So many girls, they get caught up in what they think is, what my cousin said earlier, glitz and glamour. Everything that glitters is not gold. And we leave home, and a lot of women are never heard from again. A lot of young girls are never heard from again because they step out thinking something is better, and then they get caught up and can't get away from it. That's why there's so much trafficking going on, sexual trafficking with young men and young boys and young girls, because they get out there, and them pimps and them people that sell the kids, they get a hold of them, and once they get you, there's no escaping. There is no escaping. So before, again, I can't say it enough, before you think you want to step out, always consult God, always consult him, because he is your covering. He covers you. He keeps you day and night. He keeps you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He's got you. So we got to continue to pray for our young people, especially. Dinah, she was young. We got to pray for them and mentor our young ladies and young men, to educate them on the woes of life. Let them know what's out there. Let them know. Don't hide nothing from them. Let them know what's out there. And it's not always good. It's not always, it's hard. Life is rough. I tell you, like I said, I moved out at 18, moved back in at 18 and a half. It was rough. I was able to pay the bills, but I couldn't buy groceries. So I had to go to my parents' house and eat every day, And then that got rough after a while. So it was like, you know what? Let me just come back home, regroup, and not leave until God gives me permission to leave. And that's basically what I did. So, and also we have to learn to be content in a lot of times. Be content in where you're at, but take advantage of where you are. Learn as much as you can, save as much as you can, and grow in the Lord as much as you can. So that way, when you do step out, there's no need to ever have to come back, because you've prepared yourself. And then when God says it's time for you to go, then he releases you, and he will keep you from harm. He won't let nothing, because he's covering you. He's with you. He said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. But we turn our back on God a lot of times because we think we can do this. I got this. Oh, really? No, we need his covering. Without his covering, we will fail every time. We will fail every time. He has to be with us. He has to be with us, and we have to be with him. We cannot step out without him. So we don't want to do like Dinah. Dinah, she left the house, didn't consult her dad. She ended up meeting this man that was whispering in her ear. He attacked her, took her virginity, and then basically pretty much held her prisoner until her dad said he can marry her. But her dad, said, only if y'all get circumcised. Him and the boy said that. And then they end up all being killed. They were massacred. And so they killed all the men, and then took the wives and the children and all that they owned, and inherited that kingdom for themselves. So it was a tragic end to something that could have been avoided if Lady Dinah had just stayed her tail at home a little while longer and waited on God. So yes, I'll call her the prodigal daughter, because she wandered away from home without without her dad's permission. And then when she ended up coming back, it was not a really good situation, but I'm sure it doesn't talk about her after that. But it's my prayer that, things got better when she got back home. But the thing with us today is to not make any decisions and not wander off without God's permission. When I decided to move here to Georgia from California, uh, I sat down. I was like, Lord, I've been to Georgia twice. I really like it. I really like it, and I really want to move there. But Lord, show me the way. Show me the way. Show me if this is what you want me to do. So He told me to write down all the things I would need to accomplish in order to be able to leave California with a clean slate. So I paid off all my bills, paid off my car, sold everything I had, furniture, everything. All I brought was the clothes that I could fit into my car. And so when it came about, nobody knew I was moving to Georgia. Only my girlfriend out here knew. My family did not know. I didn't tell them, and that was intentional. And so 1 month, 30 days before it was time for me to pack my car and head this way, 1 month, I did tell the family. So by that time, my list had been cleared. God had released me and said, you can go. And so I told them, I'm leaving in a month. And so needless to say, they were like, oh, don't go. It's like, if you tell me not to go, you're telling me to disobey what God has released me to do. So I said, y'all got 30 more days with me. So they gave me a big going away party and all that good stuff, and then their well wishes. So, but again, I asked God's permission. I've moved around 3 or 4 times, but each time I remember, I moved, I asked God's permission, and so He blessed it so that I could be successful wherever I went. So I'm praying about one more move, and God has not released me from Georgia yet. So when He does that, then that'll happen. That's even if it's in His will. I'm praying for it, but it may not be His will. But I'm patient. That's one thing I have definitely learned to do is wait on God. Wait on God. And again, I say wait because He has a plan for us. And our plans are nowhere near His plans. His is greater than that. So, but in the meantime, we have to learn to be still. Dinah should have just had been still. Like my mom used to say, keep your tail at home. That's what she should have did. But there were consequences for every decision that we make. And that was unfortunately her consequence. So with that being said, let me look at some comments that y'all made here. All right. So I'm going to go over here to the YouTube. So my cousin, she says, hey family, all that glitters ain't gold. When we don't ask God's permission, that's when we get in trouble because 10% of the time it is because we're under stress and being hurt in some kind of way. And then Rihanna says, you hit the nail right on the head, Vernell. And then the Lord covers my girls. Yes, He does. So she said the Lord covers her girls. And then cousin says, that's true, Riri. So that was a little chit chat going on over there. All right. So then over here, we got, hey, Auntie. Rihanna says, I didn't know there was a prodigal daughter. And Tasha says, I usually catch them after. So Rihanna says, yes, all the attention is not good attention. When I was talking about, hey, they may be trying to holler at you, but what is their purpose? What is their goal? What is their intention? And then she says, rape. Wow, nothing new under the sun. It even happened in biblical days. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. There's nothing new. We act like we created something. We haven't created nothing. So again, the scripture was Genesis chapter 34, and the title was The Prodigal Daughter. And then she says, they waited until they were weak to overthrow them. Yes. So when the men of Shechem, Prince Shechem, the Shechemites got circumcised, the Israelite brothers, Joseph's brothers, they waited till they got circumcised, were in pain, and then they attacked them. So they couldn't even fight them off. All they could do was just lay there and just go in and just die or cuddle up. But they were in too much pain to even try to get up and grab their weapons. So she says, wow, ouch, making moves without consulting God. Yep. Nope, I'm a witness. And when you do stuff without God's permission, what I say, it's going to fail. You're going to flop every time. So then she says, yes, love who God created you to be first and foremost. So, and then Tasha says, yes, so true. And then Rihanna said, no hasty decisions. Don't do that. And then she says, I remember a key thing you told me to do, and I did it and took off east. No regrets. God has truly been sustaining me. To God be the glory. Yes, that's Rihanna. So yeah, because she did the same thing. She maybe packed the car with her clothes and her girls and came out this way, and God has elevated her so much so that she couldn't have even fathom that in her mind based on the town that we come from, you know. So God has a plan for each and every one of us. He does. And so, but we have to learn how to consult him on every decision that we make, you know, because that's the only way we could be blessed, and he will cover us. Well, if we do anything without his permission, you know, then he may not necessarily always cover us. You know, he does love us, but there's some lessons that we have to learn, you know, when we step out on us instead of on God. So, yes. I'm so glad you guys tuned in. Like I said, I was excited about sharing this lady with you. But yeah, Dinah, she curiosity killed the cat. Well, she didn't die, but you know, again, some good things didn't happen because of her curiosity. So, as you know, we talk about women who did good things, and we talk about those who did not do such good things. So, I like to educate you guys on these women in the Bible. You know, it's a lot of them. It's over 400 in there. Yeah. So, and then Rihanna says it was scary moving, you know, out here in Charlotte, but God. That's it, but God. You know, hey, if we trust God, we know that we're gonna make a way. We're gonna be all right. You know, because He has us covered. He has us covered, and there's nothing we could do about it. He says, "I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it." So the last comment, Rihanna says, "Yes, because when you see, she says, when you fail, you have to repair back to God, and it might take him a long time to forgive you because he wants to teach you a lesson, but you can't keep doing the same thing over and over again." And Tasha says, "Yes, it was, but look what we gained in the fear and scariness. They gained her. That's her sister-in-law. So yeah, so hey, we got to just follow God. We got to let him lead us in the right direction. Don't make any decisions or moves without consulting God. That's the only way you will be covered by his blessings. I can't say it enough. All right? Listen, I love you all. Man, this is a short one tonight, but I love you all, and I pray that God continues to keep you in perfect peace. I look forward to next week when we all join together to talk about another young lady in the Bible. Yeah, I really do. So, all right. So, you guys have a great and awesome evening, and I will see you next Monday at what time? 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Well, of course, 5 o'clock for nails time. So, yes. All right. Be blessed. Talk to you soon. All right. Hey, 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 hey. Hey.